I want to go ahead and announce, listeners, on the line we have the Steve Maher from Abaddon Incarnate. Thank you for calling in, man.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, very good, man. How's your night?
Oh, it's good, yeah. I've just been watching that fucking Friday the 13th 6.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's been on the TV while I've been waiting to call you. So my head's pretty melted now with the shit movie, but yeah, it's good to be talking to you anyway. So,
well, thank you.
Oh, yeah,
are we
man.
pronouncing your band name right? Is it Abaddon Incarnate?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, very cool. I just want to ask you to begin with. I love the name. I'm also me and Brian are both Christians, and I know the New Testament well enough to have related the name to the New Testament. In the book of Revelation, Abaddon is an angel. He's the king of an army of locusts. Is this where you derived the name from, that angel, or how did your name come about?
Yeah, that's basically where we got it from, the book of Revelation. So it's, you can imagine the spirit of destruction, the evil force that comes and wipes out the earth, and reality made flesh. So Abaddon Incarnate. That's the idea behind the name.
Well, it's amazing, man. Pessimistic came out this year, and I got to ask you, how was the writing and the recording process? How did that go?
It was pretty good for us. We basically recorded it as fast as possible. We wanted to do it in a kind of live scenario. So we just went into the studio and played it about twice, or 3 times, I think, and then we picked the best takes, and we just used them. We didn't spend like a whole week or 2 weeks doing it. We just wanted it to be pretty live and raw, and it just kind of rips along, and we're pretty happy with the results. We've had a pretty good press campaign behind it, and a lot of really good reviews are coming back, so everyone seems to really like it, so we're quite happy with it. Yeah.
Well, it's fantastic, man. Both Brian and I are both Irish descendants as well, so we really appreciate you calling in. We really relate to the sound of Irish music. It just feels right to be of that line, that lineage of people. It's really just it's symbolic, I guess. Whenever we listen to Irish music, even the folk, I mean, you feel it in your blood. To be real, it's just amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, I saw you guys were playing last week, I think it was, or the week before. You had some CruelCon stuff on, and was that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it's really cool that you're taking an interest on our side of the ocean.
Yeah. I mean, we want to have that, as far as knowledge of metal, and it makes us feel like, we're tracing our roots in a way, so it's really cool.
Right.
I want to go ahead and I want to leeway into that into Brian's questions.
Okay. I do have I got a question. Steve, this is how me and Anthony kind of do our interviews. We kind of go back and forth. Now, that being said about, our actual heritage and where our families came from, what do you think, as an actual Irishman from the island, what do you think of American bands and citizens and people kind of celebrating their Irish heritage? I mean, I've heard the term plastic Irish, a few times, and it honestly, I see those people that are just completely fake and just stupid, but you've got people like me and Anthony that appreciate where our families came from. It's like anybody that came to America. America is famous for being the melting pot. We've had immigrants from every country come here and become citizens. What do you feel about, Americans, claiming their Irish heritage?
I think it's cool. I think it's great that people look back to their history and take an interest in where they come from. And Americans have quite a recent history. You're quite a young country compared to the European countries, so it's only natural that you look back to the old country and try and see where you come from and try and figure it all out and maybe get a sense of identity that way. I think it's something that you don't want to really get too hung up on, though, because we're in the here and now, and America has an American identity now as well that it should be proud of. But yeah, I think all the black guys and the Jews and the Irish all need to look back and say, oh, this is where we came from, and be aware of that and just be proud of it. And yeah, it's cool. I like it.
That's good, man. I'm actually very glad to hear you say that, bro.
Cool.
Now, kind of going along with our Irish heritage, a lot of Americans don't really realize where the holiday of Halloween came from. Now, that comes from an Irish, Celtic holiday of Samhain. How do you guys actually celebrate? Yeah, how do you guys actually celebrate that there, versus what we do?
Well, it's quite similar. We have a bonfire. The kids dress up and go around the houses and get, sweets and stuff off people and money. But the bonfire is the big thing,
Oh, wow.
Like when I was a kid, it was great. You go around, you'd collect wood, and then you just build it all up in the park, for a couple of weeks leading up, and then on Halloween night, you light it, and everybody would come out, and there'd be fireworks, and it was pretty cool. I've actually got a bonfire in my backyard as well that we're going to light, and have a few beers, and just, celebrate the festival, because it is a nice time of year, with the change of the seasons, and summer's over, and there's a lot of junk lying around the garden that needs to be burned up as well, so it's a good practical excuse.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is something that, us as Americans, you guys being on another continent, another country, know Americans, and I'll be the first to admit, Americans are very ignorant as far as what is outside of our country. We actually are spoon-fed our knowledge, and it sucks. So we try to, I'm speaking for me and Anthony, we kind of look on the outside of what's being presented to us by the media on what we learn about other countries. Now, the term bonfire, I've learned, actually started as bonfire, where the Druids would burn bones, for Samhain and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never heard
crazy,
that one.
Man.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. But
man. I've done my research, man. Trust me. This is my favorite holiday of the whole entire year.
The British do something different. They throw a dummy on the fire, and it's a political thing. It's not a.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's from a couple of years ago. Yeah, so I think everybody has their own little take on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, let me ask you a question, Steve. Where do you get your inspiration to write your songs?
Well, in the past, we take it from, like you said, Christianity, Satanism, all kind of religious stuff, the occult. We play around with that quite a bit. Nowadays, we're just kind of looking inside and just trying to get all the hate and angst and anger that we have inside us and try and express that in a bleak kind of way. So I think we're just looking inward, really, at the moment.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know that y'all had some lineup changes. How did your band come together, to begin with? You guys started in the early 90s, the beginning of the 90s, and to this point you're still together, and what an amazing voice that you have evolved up until now. You don't find a lot of artists that have the brutalness all these years. And just to get better and better, it's just amazing. How did you guys come together?
Well, we formed in school. There was a couple of us in school, and we just formed. We wanted to play a metal band, so we started playing Slayer songs and stuff, and then we started playing death metal cover songs, and then we started writing our own stuff. And I think the reason we stayed brutal for so long is because we've had so many lineup changes, so we keep getting fresh blood in,
Yeah.
So me and Bill are the old guys, and the two other guys come in, and Steve's he's 28, and Johnny's in 31, 32, so it's kind of fresh blood, But yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. We have two songs that aren't even off your new long play in the queue. However, during the beginning of the show, I uploaded something off of Pessimist, which is the title track. So I would like to go ahead and jump into this now. Would you mind explaining the vision behind Pessimist, the title track?
It's a song just about a bleak outlook. You've got this problem in your brain. You just cannot get a positive thought into your head. You just feel trapped. You feel isolated, and you're just basically pessimistic about the future. So we tried to squeeze all that into a minute and a half song, and just play a really fast, brutal song to express that. So that's the story behind that one.
Oh, that's amazing. Steve, stay with us if you can. Here we go, listeners. Sure. This is Abaddon Incarnate with Pessimist. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was Abaddon Incarnate. We have Steve Maher, frontman for the band, with us here. Awesome song, man.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, very well. Go ahead, Brian. Brian Dempsey, back on the show. Okay, it looks like Brian. There you are.
I'm sorry, and I'm trying to do 20 things at once, man. Well, Steve, let me ask you this, man. What do you guys think? I mean, you personally, what do you think of the current American metal scene? I mean, like the bands that are coming out nowadays. What do you think of that, man? Like, what's your opinion?
Well, to be honest, man, I listen to all the old '90s stuff. The Florida scene, like you guys are in Florida, yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right in Tampa, Lakeland area.
Yeah, so that's the stuff that I got into first. That's just kind of where I stayed. And then, you know, I like old American thrash metal and stuff like that. Like I'm 37 years old, so I'm kind of stuck in my old ways. Like I listen to old UK grindcore, and I don't really listen to new music, to be honest with you. So I'm a bit cop out on that question.
No, man. Hey, you're obviously like me, man. I'll be 37 next month, so we're the same age, man. And I'm honestly, like, I look to my old school for influence. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of new bands these days that come from America that are coming up. Whitechapel, Killswitch Engage. Another band from Florida, Severed by Faith. I honestly love these guys. You guys are amazing.
I've heard Whitechapel and I've heard Killswitch Engage.
Oh, there's so many good bands coming from America, you know, and around the world these days. But there are bands that kind of come across as cookie cutter and just cut and paste and just bullshit, like you're copying everybody else, and it just becomes repetitive. You know, and it was the same way back in the 80s and 90s, too. You got bands that are copying each other. Like, I want this sound because I like this band. I want to be like that, and it sucks.
It's a trend, isn't it? It's trends. Trends catch on, and everybody wants to sound like their favorite band.
Right, and there's guys like Rob Halford that are still out there doing what they started doing, and Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's coming through with Bruce Dickinson, still doing what he came through to do. You know, there's bands like Metallica. I don't know where you stand on Metallica. I'm an old school Metallica guy. Not so much the new shit, There's a lot of the new stuff that
I like the first two albums,
like,
and then I switched off.
Thank you. Exactly, man. I'm all the way up to the Black Album, and I stop. That is not the Metallica I grew up to love, man. They are trying to
a bit longer than me on that one.
Old school. Right, yeah, exactly, man. We're on the same page with that, dude. What was one of your first American bands that you heard?
Well, probably Morbid Angel. No, going back before that. Morbid Angel would be the first death metal band. Yeah.
That's and
then before that would be Nuclear Assault and Slayer, stuff like that, you know.
Hell yeah, Morbid Angel, St. Pete, man. St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah. Morbid Angel was one of those bands that I found in probably, I would say, like 9th grade, which is like our first step into high school. I stumbled across Morbid Angel.
So. I was watching 11, 12 years old or something?
No, I was more like 13, 14.
Okay.
I ran across them and I was like, oh, this is some scary, creepy shit. And Morbid Angel was one of those bands. And, we've got a lot of bands coming out of Florida, especially. This was the hotbed of death metal. This is the birth of death metal here in Florida in the U.S. And we represent that. And a lot of the bands that are coming out right now at this day and age are kind of looking back on their heroes and where that came from and are continuing that sound.
Well, yeah.
And it sucks because those guys that are on the underground lip of it all, they're not on the forefront. They're not being put into fucking like Metal Edge and Metal Hammer and shit like that in the magazines. They're not put, through that. They're underground right now. That's exactly what we're here to do. And we started off as a show based in Florida playing the best metal bands from Florida that aren't signed. But we wanted to take it a step further.
Underground shows are important, aren't they? Because that's what little bands don't get the support of the big labels and the press, so you need underground support. And it's just like what we used to do years ago with fanzines and stuff. You just promote the little bands, and it's interesting, It's interesting to find these young bands that are doing something different, that are doing something out there and edgy,
Well, Steve, I want to ask you a question. You've been all around the world. This is a question that I like to ask bands that we interview. Do you have a most memorable moment in your career so far on stage that you can point out to the listeners?
Well, of all the gigs that we played all over the world?
Yeah.
Shit, man. I think Russia, the Russian ones was pretty crazy. We went to Russia and there's some serious mosh pits over there. Like there's soccer hooligans go to the gigs just to fight each other.
Exactly.
It's you're on stage and there's all these skinheads just knocking the crap out of each other, like breaking each other's noses.
Exactly, brother. Hey, we got our fair share of hooligans and skinheads over here, man. I mean, it may be a little bit of an underground sect, but same time, brother, I was part of it back in the day, dude. I appreciate that, man.
That's my most memorable experience, It's just, and you got these little kids in the mosh pit as well, and then there's these chicks with high heels running around with all these big dudes, and it's just like, this was just surreal,
Yeah,
right.
But some of the South American tour was pretty cool as well. It was a unique place, 1 minute you'd be playing this really rich town, and then the next day you're playing this little bunch of huts with a bunch of Indians in them. With the lady in the back in all traditional gear and giving everybody drink, it's surreal. Some surreal places to be into. Yeah.
That's good shit, man.
Do y'all have any pre-show rituals that y'all do? A lot of bands will, before they go on stage, they'll kind of go be by themselves. They'll listen to their iPods. Some of them will say a prayer together. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals that you do right before you go on?
Well, we just drink some beers and just hang out and just talk to people and talk to the other bands and just maybe try and watch some other bands and just enjoy the gig.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best answers I've heard. That's probably one of the best answers I've heard to that question, man. That's honestly kind of like what me and Tony do before we start this show. Or during.
Oh, that's good,
we kind of have a few beers and we get on on the thing here and do our show. We have a couple of beers just kind of loosen up, enjoy what we're doing, and do our performance. I mean, you guys do what you do on stage, but we got to run our mouth. talk to you guys and be entertaining. And, it just helps us kind of loosen up and do what we do.
Sure, yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, let me ask you this. Since we are in the month of October, which in America, it's all horror, it's all scary, it's all gore, it's all brutal. And it's pumpkins and candy and kids having a good time and shit like that. But we all love horror movies. Are you fans of the horror movie genre?
Yeah, I really dig, the Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're my possibly my favorite horror movies. Evil Dead 1.
Sam Raimi's the shit, man.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2 is funny, but it's a good movie too. But Evil Dead 1 is the scary one,
oh
yeah. Yeah. I was watching that movie when I got into Morbid Angel when I was like really young, like you. I was watching that movie at the same time, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, dude, man. Me too, brother. Yeah. I came across Evil Dead 2 first. I'm not even going to lie. I was reading Fangoria magazine. And I saw Fangoria magazine. It had this big skull with eyeballs. And it said, Evil Dead 2 is Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell. And I was like, what the shit is that? And I read about it, and I begged my mother. I was a little kid, and I begged my mother, take me to the video store. I want to see this movie. My mom took me. So it took me like a week to get the shit. I put it on reserve, and I finally got the VHS tape of it. I took it home, and me and my little brother, we sat around, and we're like, holy shit, Evil Dead 2, let's watch it. And we didn't even see Evil Dead 1. Evil Dead 2, I watched it, and it was one of those movies to where it creeped me the shit out, and I was freaked out by it, but at the same time, I was amazed, and I loved it, and I laughed, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, as an adult,
you got a really liberal mother. You got a really liberal mother.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, my mother was awesome. She was a single mother. She raised me to enjoy horror, and she, raised me to be myself, and I love my mother for that, man.
Yeah,
what do you think about this? Okay, like in America, I don't know what's going on in Ireland as far as cinema goes, but in America, it seems to be inundated with a lot of zombie movies and zombie shows like The Walking Dead and things like that. Do you think it's kind of been done too much?
Yeah, I don't like the new style. I don't like this new kind of, these vampire stuff and these new zombie things where everybody gets feelings and everybody falls in love. This kind of crap that everybody's doing now.
No idea.
I don't understand that. Yeah, I think you've got to be 16 or something to understand that.
I'm not worried about falling in love if I'm in an apocalypse, bro, and there's zombies running around. I'm worried about keeping my shit alive. Survival. I'm not worried about oh well, you know what? She's really pretty. I'm gonna buy her some flour. I'm gonna pick her flowers from the fucking graveyard. Hopefully, no zombies come and get me. No, man, it's survival, dude. No, I know exactly what you're saying. Like Walking Dead is a good show. Walking Dead is an amazing show, and I thank goodness the fact that show came out because it kind of brought that to the forefront of it all. But at the same time, it does portray a lot of emotion that's needed. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Well, I should probably check it out before I dismiss it all because I'm just, I put it on for 5 minutes and then I turn it off. But maybe I should listen to watch the whole show before I can comment. But I don't know if it can last the whole show. But
exactly. No, it is a good show. It's a good show. I'll give it that. It is a good show.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll give it a chance.
It's time to jump into the next song by your band. This is Hour of the Dog.
Cool.
Could you tell us the vision behind this song?
Okay, well this is like about a horror movie actually. This was based on what was it? It's a werewolf kind of thing, which was Dog Soldiers. You seen that British movie, Dog Soldiers?
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie. Dog Soldiers is awesome, bro.
So that was the inspiration for this song. And our old bass player wrote the lyrics, so.
That's awesome. All right, here we go, listeners. Once again, the second of the third song that we're going to play. This is Abaddon Incarnate with Hour of the Dog. Okay, listeners, we are back with Steve Maher from Abaddon Incarnate. Amazing song once again, Steve. What a
thank you.
Great performance, yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Brian Dempsey. Brian Dempsey, welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm here, man. Hey, Steve, let me ask you this, man. Just as my family name, man, like how many Dempseys are actually like people that you know or like you've heard that name before?
I went to school with two guys called Dempsey. My stepfather's friend's surname is Dempsey. I know 3 people called Dempsey.
That's cool shit, man. Like I like I said before, like I'm very interested in where my family came from, and I do know my family had land in Ireland. I'm not exactly sure where, but I know we lost our castle and our land in like this big ass battle, and that's all I really know. Like I want to come to my homeland, dude. Like I honestly do. Like I want to come to where my family came from and see the land that I came from. If it wasn't for the land or the island of Ireland and the people of Ireland, like I wouldn't be here in the States doing the dumb shit that I do. And the person that I am.
You need to find out where that battle was and then visit that place because. Yeah. Even though Ireland's a small country, there's quite a big difference between the different cities and the countryside and all that. So you need to find out exactly where it was.
I know that like my family came from Offaly. Is that how you say it, Offaly?
Offaly, yeah.
Oh,
County Offaly.
I know we're from that area. That's kind of where our land was in Offaly. And one of these days, man, when I get the coin to come up, I would love to go to Ireland and see that castle and see that land that we came from. And,
our bass player Steve, he's from the border with Offaly and Meath, so he's familiar with that country. It's pretty he's not here to talk to you about it, but so Ireland's a small place,
Right. So is Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, man, if you guys ever get up to Florida, man, our Facebook pages and shit, you guys ever get to Florida, just hit us up, man. Yeah. We'll show you the sights here, brother.
Likewise, when you come over here to Ireland,
most
you can check that out.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Brian is as well. I think we might just make a trip to Ireland. We've been talking about it for many years. My family, my surname is Scottish, McDonald, but my father's side are Braggs. I don't know if you have any know anybody with the last name Bragg, B-R-A-G-G. We're of Ulster.
That's an English name, isn't it?
I don't have a huge amount of Irish on my father's side. It possibly is. But I do know from my father telling me that we're of Ulster people. I know that there are, I believe there's Ulster, Albrecht, and I'm not sure about the third one. I forgot the name. But, yeah, we descend from the Ulster people. Are those your same folks as well?
Yeah, Ulster is the northern part of Ireland. So Ireland is divided politically north and south. The north is part of the United Kingdom, and that part is Ulster. It's a large province, so there's several counties there, and you got Belfast is in Ulster, and Derry, and the mountains of Mourne. You got the Giant's Causeway, all that shit is up there in Ulster.
Oh wow!
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been researching my heritage for a long time, man, and
that's cool.
It's one of those things to where like I want before I pass away and go on to the other side, man. Like I want to see that, like a lot of people are from other countries.
Get over here and have a look.
Brother, hey, I tell you what, brother, if I get the chance to come over to Ireland and see my family's land and see all the sites and shit like that, bro. Steve, I will hit you up, and I'll be like, hey, I'm here. Come get me.
Cool. Yeah.
Keep me from getting my ass kicked.
We'll look after you. We'll bring you for some beers and get you fucked up, and we'll look after you.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, bro. I've got a Celtic knot on my right arm, my right forearm, and I've got a cladal on my left side of my neck, and I need some backup when I get there. I'm getting my ass kicked when I walk into my own country. Well, Steve, let me ask you this, man. As one metalhead to another, do you got kids, man?
Kids? Children?
Yeah.
No, I have no children, no. No, none of us have kids.
Okay, well,
me neither.
Let me ask you this. I've got 2 kids of my own. I got 3 stepsons. Let me ask you this. If you did have children, would you like to see your children come up in the metal genre? Would you like to see your kids follow your footsteps?
It would be up to them. Like, I'm sure by the time they're 18, you know, the future's going to be a weird place, and they're going to have their own shit that they want to do. So, I'd be happy for them to do whatever they want to do that makes them happy or whatever. Like, I've got young cousins and, you know, godchildren that are into metal, and that's really cool because they're in bands and stuff, and, you know, they're 15 years old and they're trashing out, and it's really cool to see that. But yeah, it's up to them at the end of the day, isn't it? I know. From my own generation, if your parents trying to force you to do something, then you just rebel against it, don't you?
You know, honestly, I'm not even going to lie. I'm glad to hear you say that because there's so many parents that try to influence their kids in all aspects of life, man. You've got kids, and I'm just speaking from the American sense. I mean, it's probably the same over there. You got kids that their dad played soccer or football or, you know, whatever. And they're like, oh, yeah, you got to wrestle, or you got to play soccer, you got to play football, and, it's what Daddy did when he was a young kid, and I want you to be. And there's people, like, that are in the metal scene that are like, you know, oh, well, Dad was in a fucking metal band, and this is how I did it, and let's get you in there and play guitar. Let's put you in guitar lessons. Like, you got to leave it up to the kid to mold themselves, man. You really do.
My stepfather taught me guitar, but I rebelled, and I just said I don't want to learn this shit anymore because I used to just hate learning it. I just hated being in his company. But then I kind of went off and started joining bands and just playing thrash metal, and I just found a new way to enjoy the instrument. And it wasn't playing like Fleetwood Mac and shit that he wanted me to play. It was, you know, it was thrash metal. So I think every generation has their own shit. But I think our generation and our kids are probably a little bit closer than they were back, you know, in the 80s and the previous generation. I think there's a bigger gap there than there is nowadays. I think.
There is, man, for sure.
I think the adults. I think the adults these days are still a bit young, you know.
Right, and you know, and that's what's sad is honestly, I'll be honest. The other day I was on Facebook, which I honestly I'm getting to the point where I can't stand Facebook. I was on Facebook the other day, and one of the bands that we play on this show asked the question, "What got you into the hardcore genre?" Please comment below. And I saw these kids like posting like all this shit, like this band and that band and da da da, and it was shit that was within the last like 6 years. And I'm listening to shit Raised Fist, E-Town Concrete, Sick of It All, Madball, you know, all this old school stuff. And I was just like, I'm old school, sorry. Like I didn't know, I couldn't identify with what they're saying. But at the same time, I appreciate it because it's younger than me, and it kind of was aggravating to the fact that nobody takes that extra step and goes backwards into where everything started, man. You know, thrash metal was started by bands like DRI, Metallica, Anthrax. You know, it pisses me off that like nobody will acknowledge that these days. And you know, some bands
all the crossover stuff.
Exactly. You know, and DRI had a band, or DRI had an album actually called Crossover, and that cracked me up. Yeah, and it had like shit like 5-Year Plan and Coffin and stuff like that. And DRI was one of those bands that like brought me from the Misfits and Metallica and shit over to like what's about to happen. You know, I was an old school suicidal tendencies kid. and it's awesome to see people that realize that and acknowledge that. But it pisses me off at the same time that people don't realize where their music came from. I mean, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, well, I think the kids, you know, when they get older, they'll get bored of what they listen to, and they'll look back into the history, and they'll find these cool bands, and they'll start listening to them when they get a bit older. So I think eventually it's all gonna sort itself out. I don't want to lose any sleep over it, you know. I think it's gonna.
All right, we have a caller, a local caller, 863. Just in case this caller has a question for Steve, let me go ahead and bring him on. 863 caller, welcome to the Metal International Show. 863 caller, welcome to the show.
Wake up, bitch!
Wake up,
You're
bitch.
on the air.
Who are we speaking to?
You're sitting here.
I'm sorry.
That's how you fucking react.
There you go.
863 caller,
Finally, we got
welcome
a
to the
voice.
show. All right. I'm not going to worry about that. All right, well, back to...
What the hell?
I have no fucking clue what that was all about.
Hey, hold on. Chainsaw, hold on. She was talking. Hold on, let's put her on. 863
caller.
808 caller. You're on the air.
Someone's making fucking TV dinners. Fuck that. All right, anyway, back to... all right, Steve, I want to thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, Steve, I want to thank you for hanging on this long. Most of the people we interview don't stay on this long with us. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor to be able to speak to you.
It's been really cool to be able to talk to you guys and be on your show. It's great to have some exposure over there, so thanks for your support, yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah, man. And Steve, honestly, man, I want to say thank you, me personally. I want to say thank you for answering the questions that I've been wanting to ask somebody from my motherland, dude. Like, I wanted to ask you these questions. I appreciate you giving me the straight answers that you gave me. Like, I really do appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Also, just you got any more questions or you need any more information, just send us a mail, you know. We're in touch, so just don't be a stranger, you know.
Yeah, you can guarantee we will. Yeah. This next song is In Pursuit of Lunacy. Can you finally give us the vision behind this song?
Well, In Pursuit of Lunacy, okay, that's where, you know, you get these kids that, or anybody really that gets into this occult black magic shit, and they get like obsessed by it, and they're chasing after this kind of madness. That's what it's about, In Pursuit of Lunacy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Once again, it has been a real honor to be able to interview you. Please call in anytime, and we'll definitely be in touch. Keep us in tune. We're going to continue to promote you from now on out. Would you please
thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome, sir. Would you please give us the honor of introducing this next song to the listeners?
Okay, this next song is off our fourth album with a Cascade. It's called In Pursuit of Lunacy.
Have a good night, brother.
Good night, man. Thank you.
All right, Steve. Cheers, brother.
See you, brother.
Man, what a fucking awesome interview with one of the coolest people in the world, dude.
That was pretty awesome, man. Like, I'm so glad that I had the questions that I wanted to ask, and I got good answers.
Yeah.
Nothing negative. And Steve Maher, thank you so much, brother, for being part of our show tonight, man, and spending some time with us and answering some questions that I had unanswered, and Tony did too. Of this is what our show is about, is being from America, from the United States, and talking to other countries and finding out what they think of what the fuck we got going on here in the U.S.